18 years old. She's from Newcastle, driving the Jayco Dealers AGI Sport number 20. And on that front row alongside Frankie Maiolo. Frankie doing a great job finishing inside the top 5. Good to see him back with some form. And we'll have Zane Goddard after his Wild Rally Australia moment down there at Dandenong Road. Here we go, the revs rise. 4-cylinder Ford turbo motors. How does Caitlin go? She gets moving with a little bit of tyre smoke, and that means that they'll go nearly 4 wide. Great start. Vernon splits the middle. Maiolo tries to cover, but I think Vernon might have done just enough to get in there, and off they go. Pressure is a wonderful thing.
Great start by Thomas Randall. Caitlin's clean away. She got a little bit too much wheel spin, but unfortunately Frankie, who's stuck in the background there, was just a little bit too aggressive into the first corner. Came off second best there.
Leeds went to the outside of Wood there, and that little gap dried up pretty quickly. Somehow Jordan Lloyd has finished up in the lead.
6th to 1st in
4
3 corners.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 4 corners.
Here he is. He's got nearly 10 car lengths already over the rest of the pack. That's an unbelievable start. And Randall will be absolutely rampant to catch him. He needs to get these points back, so he needs to dispose of Jordan Love. Oh, man, Leeds was going side by side with Goddard in the background then, and somehow they both arrive at Dandenong Road, still on the track. That's good news. Brave going side by side through there. Goddard's having a hell of a time. Combined age of 30 years old between those two.
Yeah. And look, Caitlin got shuffled back. She actually got off. She got a really quick launch, but perhaps just let the clutch out too fast. So while it launched quick, then it erupted into wheel spin and lost that momentum. So Jordan Love got a really good start. He's holding out Thomas Randall quite well. Look at this battle down here. Bit of blocking going on down the front straight there between Leeds and Goddard. Goddard's going to try and go right round the outside.
And Vernon was smart and decided that he would just stay out initially and then see if he could pick up the pieces. But unfortunately, the layout of Sandown does not do him any favours with the right-hander being at turn 2. So you'll have to, unfortunately, still sit back in 10th and wait for another crack. She battles going the whole way through this pack after the leader. Lloyd opening up a 1.4 second Sebastian Vettel-esque lead there. That's what Vettel loved doing, get in and get out of DRS as soon as he could. Down the back straight we go. Randall, see the leader skipping away. Love letting the back end hang out a little bit. Oh, I thought he was going to get him then.
I think he just avoided, just reduced the brake pressure enough to stop the lockup and get his steering back. So quite a good save there. He's looking very aggressive here. Thomas Randall would know. He'd be being spoken to on the radio by his engineer, Wayne Mackey, who'd be telling him this race, you've got 10 minutes. Push, push. He's got to try and get past. But Jordan Love, not making any mistakes, doing a good job. He's not blocking. He's just trying to keep his eyes forward and try and chase Jordan Lloyd down.
Caitlin's got company in the form of Lewis Leeds. Local driver, lives near Essendon. And up the inside, takes away that position. That was for 7th. Harry Hayek will be the next man on his hit list, but Hayek's a good couple of seconds up the road. They're banking up behind Jordan Love, teenager out of Perth. And he's got a couple of hard charges, including a local driver and Tom Randall behind him. You might remember Ian Love used to race as a privateer back in the Australian Touring Car Championship before it was formerly called the V8 Supercars.
Yeah, Ian's here. He's got a younger son, Jordan's younger brother, in go-kart, so he alternates between racetracks and kart tracks at the moment around the country. And his son is doing an outstanding job there.
All right, let's break it down for you. Watch the number 20 car on the right-hand side really smoke the tyres. And that meant that everyone was able to gang up on her. And she lost a few spots before we even got there. Now, Jordan Lloyd just took a wide entry here. The front 2 guys went wide. He went from 6th to 1st in 1 corner.
Unbelievable.
That's how you do it.
Listen to this. A lot of wheel spin, even with 160 brake horsepower. So it's unfortunate because she got moving initially really well. There goes Thomas Randall. He thought the outside's the best option. Tom Gretsch in behind her. There's the 2 spearing off.
From Lewis Leeds, Hayek to the right. You'll see a big plume of dust and gravel flick up when Maiolo spears off ahead of them. There it goes.
Careful to get off the throttle a couple of times, and he wasn't quite sure. And Vernon actually was very close when he rejoined.
And this is Wood taking the shortest route between turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, she obviously decided that was the safer option than bang wheels. So Randall's through. So he's got past Jordan Love. Love needs to settle in now to third and just try and really latch onto the gearbox if he can of Thomas Randall to tow himself away from Gretsch and Will Brown behind, who are looking quite speedy at the moment.
7 minutes to go in the race, being time certain at 1:30 local time. Gretsch with his hands full with the first ever Formula 4 winner behind him, and Will Brown. Having a chat to Simon Hodge, who's unfortunately not racing in Carrera Cup this weekend, but is helping out at his old team, BRM. And he was having a chat to Jordan Lloyd before the race. I said, even if he gets third in terms of the championship, that'll be fine. He said, he's out there to win it. I want to see him get a clean sweep. I told him, if you want to go to Europe or America where your dreams lie, then you need to be ruthless. Don't even think about going at 99%. Just stay at it, try and win every race. Don't worry about collecting points. Because if you get into this near enough, good enough attitude when you go to Europe, you'll get skinned. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly how you sometimes think winning a championship is about consistency, and it certainly is, but also the best way is to stay out of trouble in motorsport and be out the front like he is. He's under no pressure there. Speaking of pressure, look at Harry Hayek. He's got a great run up the back straight. Having a bit of a look through. Will Brown, will he try the underneath here to be a little bit too far back? They didn't have a very good race one, but found a little bit of speed up into 6th off the back of the grid in this race.
Lock off the right front. Hancock tyre for Tom Gretsch, and it just ruins a bit of mid-corner momentum too. And he loses 1 or 2 car lengths to Love. Love after the penalties earlier for contact with Vernon's. Bounced back really nicely here, sitting in third.
Here's Hayek going right down the inside of Will Brown, so he got a really good run onto the front straight that time. Will lets him through. So perhaps just started with his tyre pressures a little bit lower than some of those guys he's chasing, because his car certainly seems to have come on about lap 5, lap 6. And he's one of the quickest drivers out there at the moment, last time round. A 1:15.6, so he's actually only lapping half a second slower than our race leader, Jordan Lloyd, who's pulled out 2.6 seconds on Thomas Randall.
Yeah, but Randall, fastest driver on that last lap. But he probably needs a safety car if he's going to make up the 2.6 seconds, because you're just not going to see Lloyd lose that amount of time in a race unless he makes an error.
Will went very deep then. He hasn't given up on trying to get that spot back. Very deep at Dandenong Road corner. Tom Gretsch having a much cleaner run in the IQ option car. That rear wing actually looks a little bit loose. Yeah, just noticed that on the last couple of the right-left coming onto the front straight. So hopefully the team will be watching this. He's looking in the mirror, so he's seen it. They'll be telling him, because that's going to lose a lot of rear grip, particularly when he comes up over the top.
Yeah, you want to be careful. I mean, obviously you want to be careful, but I'd be thinking about bringing him in for that, because if you go over the top at 200 k's an hour and that falls off.
Yeah, he's going backwards into the fence.
Yeah.
When you lose downforce like that instantly, and you'd have to think that our race director will be giving him a black flag or a meatball flag, which is a mechanical black flag, because potentially one option for him if it comes off, and 2, where is it going to end up? So it poses a danger to everyone out there. See what he does over the top here. Let's hope he's careful. Still pretty committed, carrying a fair bit of speed there.
No worries. We'll let the Hancooks do the work. Never mind all this aero.
So it's 3.5 minutes to go. The team will be saying, should we manage it and just be cautious, or do we come in and potentially have a DNF? We'll see what the race director in conjunction with the stewards decide. Yeah, and it looks like he's coming in. Yeah, no, that's a smart option. There's the meatball flag.
That was the right move. He was going to get the flag anyway. He's 17 years of age. He's got a bright future ahead of him. He doesn't need to be going around 200k corners without a rear wing.
No, not in a slicks and wings car.
Yeah.
In a car downforce. So on board with Lewis Leeds. Seen a
little bit of oversteer through the first part of this first corner. Here we go. Avoid the curbs. Don't do what your teammate Tom Randall did through there and get the fence by attacking the curbs, Theo Supercar style, onto the back straight. And here we go. We're going to ride on board with him. And this is one of my favourite corners in Australian motorsport when you get over the top. Can he hold it flat? That's the question.
Well, I believe he says He is. So let's hear. So you're watching, hugs the left line, lets the car build up speed to about 215 kilometres an hour, moves it across at the end. 198 through here. Let's listen. 100% throttle all the way.
Attaboy.
With a minimum quarter speed, according to the data after race 1 of 198. So that's impressive, and that's why you need a rear wing attached to the car.
Yeah. How good is that? 15 years of age, going flat through one of the scariest corners you'll find anywhere in Victoria. Bravery deluxe right there.
So up into P6, that was a flying lap, and that lap time was a 1:14.82. So that's the third fastest lap of the race.
Gee, Tom Gretsch takes some strange lines around this racetrack.
He was in the pit lane then.
Yeah, he does that a lot. We're looking at Andrew Miedeke doing that a lot in TCM up in Darwin. So there's got to be some rhyme or reason to it. He also shortcuts turn 10 a little bit, the most non-existent corner in Australian motorsport, turn 10 here. He somehow manages to find a shortcut through it. Does the Van Gisbergen drop 2 tyres onto the grass trick? Yep.
I just wonder whether with these cars that he's just avoiding the bumps. There's sort of 2 lines. There's go to the middle of the track to avoid the bumps, or go to the extreme outside. So this should be, I think, the second last lap. So he'll be starting his last lap this time around. Jordan Lloyd, 14.59 compared to Randall's 14.76. So he's got the lap record from the previous race, and he's just untouchable this weekend. The car just looks so neat, meaning a number of things. Yep. The car's setting it up well, and he's driving it well.
We'll wait and see, because usually it's 1 lap after 1:30, so we might get 2 more in yet, hopefully. And you've got to remember, each and every single lap that these blokes turn is just more and more experience in the bank. We're talking about drivers who have really limited experience as Gretsch takes that high line again on the front straight in racing any kind of car, because they're young.
And also, only 6 test days, Chad, for the whole season. So they've completed 4 at the moment. We've got 1 next Wednesday at Phillip Island. So we try to develop driver talent, but also keep a lid on cost as much as possible. If we let them test every week, of course they're going to get faster with more miles, more practice, but more cost. So every lap in the race, particularly for some of these young guys that have come out of go-karts, every single lap of every race weekend counts.
Randall hasn't had a chance to fight with Lloyd on an even keel this week and on an even playing field after the issues that he had in qualifying, and he's been on terms with him in speed. But if he can continue to finish second, which he's done so in the last 4 races or 5 races in the championship now, at least he'll have plenty of points. And if the off chance that we see Lloyd make a mistake at any point in this championship, and remember, we've got tracks like Surfers Paradise, Sydney Olympic Park.
Absolutely.
Where if you make even the smallest of errors, your weekend can be over. He will still be alive in the championship when we all wrap it up in Sydney. Now Leeds, he's managed to catch Harry Hayek by putting in some monster laps. Just on that last lap alone, he was 0.6 quicker. So he's charging.
Let's see if he tries to go down the inside here. A little bit too far back. Back 2 gears, 3rd gear. Quite a nice run.
He's actually on that last lap 0.2 quicker than Tom Randall's been all race long. So he is really knuckling down with some quick lap times here. Only 900ths off the fastest lap of the race. He loves this place, Lewis Leeds.
Harry got a nice exit, though, out of turn 4. You can see he just got about a car length gap, and that's what you want to do when you've got a car close behind you. You want to slow up your entry speed to slingshot off the corner. You've got to be most vulnerable at the end of the next straight. So you want to try and maximise that straight line speed. Look at Jordan Lloyd. He's still pushing the car hard. He's lapping within 2/10 of the lap record he set in the previous race. And you can just see visually he's got a little bit, that gap, well, it's actually gone out to 4.17 seconds. And he'll start from pole for the last race tomorrow.
He might just be the first ever man to clean sweep around, but he'll have 1 more race to do it tomorrow. Checkered flag at the ready for Jordan Lloyd. He's got the red, yellow and black paint on the helmet. And I just wonder if that's a little sneak peek that he might want to go to Germany and maybe join someone like Joey Mawson, a fellow Australian racing in Formula 4, being Michael Schumacher's son's teammate over in Germany. That'd be pretty special. And to be honest, he's talented enough to go do that because he's creaming him back here in Australia. Congratulations on another win. And this means he's won 2 races at all 4 rounds that we've gone to. He might just win all 3 because he'll have a front row start for the next one as well. Randall, he's driven well this weekend. He's gone from 9th to 2nd and then from 5th to 2nd. But take nothing away from the Queenslander, Jordan Lloyd. Definitely the man to beat in the series. Wood, she started on pole but slipped back to 9th. And then we've got Will Brown, unfortunately,